In Perth, a 45-year-old mother of three went shopping and never came home.
The teenage girl is still missing after 21 years.
The remains of an unknown adult male located in nearby bushland will now be sent off for a forensic examination.
He is concerned about their son's safety, so if you have any information about his whereabouts, please contact Crime Stoppers.
I'm Mark Leveson, father of Matt, who went missing in 2007.
And I'm his mum, Faye Leveson. It's a pain that you wouldn't wish on your own enemy. You can't put it into words. It grates on you every day. It pulls at your heartstrings. It makes functioning very hard. You put on your brave face to the world like nothing's going on, and that takes a lot of doing. And every day, just as a mum, not knowing what happened to your child is just undescribable.
It's really important to review unresolved cases because, as most of us would appreciate, absolutely the most awful thing is not knowing. So we should be utilising the latest forensic techniques and technology along with databases to try and address that question. The benefit of a nationally coordinated DNA program really assists in the task of identifying missing people. So family members should come forward as soon as possible because they hold information such as medical records, dental records, but in particular DNA samples that can be provided to the program to assist with this essential task of trying to find the answers that they so sorely need.
The National DNA Program was established last year as a result of some proceeds of crime funding, and it is really an opportunity to apply some contemporary forensic testing techniques that have never been done in Australia before, to the range of unidentified human remains across the country in the hope that we identify those remains and ultimately link them with some of our long-term missing persons. For those of us who work at the National Missing Persons Coordination Centre, we spend our days looking at our long-term missing persons. We look at the missing persons posters with their families. We work on campaigns to try and highlight the issues around missing persons in Australia. Provides a real opportunity to provide some answers to some families who we know suffer day in and day out through not knowing where their loved one is.
We said even to our coroner during the inquest, look, Your Honour, we know some of the answers won't be positive, won't be good, but we need to know the answers. And that's what you've got to have worked. In our case, we felt we just had to have the answers good or bad. That was found just sort of 10 years after he went missing. He went missing in September 2007, and his remains were located May 31, 2017. So his remains were confirmed by DNA about 3 days later.
The main thing with the DNA for us, that we got a positive ID on that, so there was no possibility that it was somebody else. It was definitely our Maddie.
So the aim of the National DNA Program is to scientifically link unidentified human remains with long-term missing persons. The success of the program relies on families coming forward and providing the police and the scientists with the information and the forensic samples to enable us to be able to link information from when a missing person was living to the types of information that we're able to recover from a set of deceased remains. So my vision for the Family of a Missing Persons Day was to create a free event that would connect families of missing people with the resources to assist identify them. So we're asking families to provide a number of different types of information and samples to assist the National DNA program. If families have at home personal items of the missing person, such as a toothbrush or razor, that's important to help us obtain a DNA profile from the missing person. Or in the absence of that, we're asking close biological relatives of the missing person to provide a DNA reference sample on the day. We also need information like the dentist and the doctor details of the missing person, so we can obtain the dental information and the medical information that we can use to match to unidentified human remains. We're interested in photographs of the missing person, so close-ups of the face with the teeth showing, so something like a smiling portrait or even a selfie. We need to know the sex, the age, the ancestry, the hair and eye colour, tattoos, injuries, all of that physical information about a missing person, because this is the kind of information we're trying to match up with what we observe when we examine a set of unidentified human remains. So over the last couple of decades, there's been huge advancements in the forensic techniques that we can apply to these particularly challenging samples, where we now have a suite of tools that will allow us the opportunity to try and link the DNA from these remains with the DNA from the missing person or their relatives in order to provide the families with missing loved ones some answers.
Many times we hear from the press, in particular, and other well-meaning people that now you've got Matt back, you'll have some closure. And to us, that's an offensive word. It's always said in a well-meaning, positive way, but we think to our standard of closure is Matt knocking on our front door at home and saying, sorry, I haven't called. Now, we're never going to get that. We might get answers, we might get resolution, we might get justice, but we'll never have closure.
You never get over it. It never leaves you. And the not knowing is the worst part.